I don't know if I'm gonna be in any more perfect form than I am right now. So let me get my fit off. Happy Halloween, and then we'll get into the video. These are my shoes. Had to be something bloody on a bitch. No. I'm trying to think of what else I could show off. I'm gonna take the bat shades off because I didn't work on this face for no reason. Welcome to my channel. I'm Jade. This is Jade at Home. I don't really know what this channel is going to be yet, but for this first video, I wanted to share my favorite Halloween top 20 list. What am I saying? My top 20 favorite scary movies. It's actually two top 10 lists. The first top 10 is going to be movies that I like aesthetically, and the other list what? And then 10 movies that I enjoy for the plot line of the horror, and I wanted to share it with you all today. Come in, girly, don't be shy. I'm gonna be playing a little drinking game. Let me pour my spiked Jamaican Me Happy. Cheers. It says main character energy. I hope you can read that. Is this gonna be flipped? We're gonna play a little drinking game with this. I haven't looked up the Rotten Tomato scores on any of these movies, and if any of them have an IMDb or a Rotten Tomato score of like less than 50, if it's under half the percent of people like it, then I will be drinking from my beverage here, okay? I'll also be smoking a little bit, and yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna light my candle and then we can get into it, and I might take these gloves off. Okay. I got the mini Scolaras. Okay, I took like 3 sips of my main character energy. I'm like blanking. I feel very overstimulated right now. Surprisingly, the teeth don't bother me. I think it's the gloves. I think I just want the gloves off so I feel in control of my senses. So let me just take them off, because you don't care and I don't care. Okay, that feels honestly a million times better. But thank you anyways. I'll put the bat glasses back on for the meantime, and I'll let you know if I'm feeling it. Okay. So the first film on my list for movies that I like aesthetically for aesthetic reasons. Is this shit boring? Okay, hold on. I'm like really in my head. Fuck. Okay, so The Shining, a classic horror film directed by Stanley Kubrick based on Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name. Released in 1980. I typed this up, by the way. Thank you. Released in 1980, the movie tells the story of Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, who becomes the winter caretaker of the isolated and haunted Overlook Hotel in the Colorado Rockies. He moves in with his wife Wendy and young son Danny, love that name, who possesses psychic abilities known as the Shining. As the winter progresses, the family becomes increasingly tormented by malevolent supernatural forces, driving Jack to madness and violence It is widely regarded as one of the greatest horror films ever made and is a staple in the genre. Not me struggling to read. It is a staple in the genre with a long-lasting influence in pop culture. The film's iconic imagery, such as the elevator doors gushing with blood, yummy. The creepy Grady twins, Jack Nicholson's manic "Here's Johnny" science scene. I typed this up, but I typed it very quickly. Have become cultural touchstones, as well as the Overlook Hotel's hedge maze, the typewriter, and the red rum mirror have a lasting impact on pop culture. This was the first one I wrote, and I think I didn't do enough editing down. Hopefully I do later on. An interesting note, Stephen King expressed his dissatisfaction with Kubrick's adaptation, feeling that it strayed too far from his original work. Stanley Kubrick, known for his meticulous attention to detail, famously shot The Shining with multiple takes for each scene. The all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy scene, for instance, took an estimated 500 pages of unique text and 3 days to film. The Shining remains a classic in the horror genre, known for its memorable performances, disturbing imagery, and enduring cultural impact. Let's give it up for that. Yeah. So, The Shining, right? I remember this movie was introduced to me as a young woman. I think I was 11 years old. My family had booked a vacation out to Colorado, and my uncle thought it would be funny to make me watch The Shining before we went. And it actually was pretty cool. We got to see the hotel, like we drove past it. And yeah, I don't remember being that scared upon my first viewing of it. I think it's more of like a creepy, slow burn. I don't know. I guess I just was, I didn't feel the horror in it, and maybe it's just something like, it takes you being a little mature to get it. I do think about it aesthetically a lot. It's probably one of the films that I most desire to take little scenes and clips from and pull it into my own practice. I really love the bathroom scenes, the green bathroom with the creepy bloated zombie lady in the bathtub, and the red bathroom from when Jack goes into the bar. It being The Shining, like it already speaks for itself, so it's really easy for it to just be on my list of my favorite horror movies. There's something that feels very like grown up about it. Like liking The Shining just feels like, yeah, I like The Shining. I'm cultured. I'm Kubricked. You like Chucky? Oh, I like The Shining. If you get what I mean. So I'm basically saying I only like The Shining because it makes me feel like I'm better than other people. I need to hurry it the fuck up, otherwise I'm gonna be here forever. So the audience score was a 93%. We're gonna go off the audience score, which means I don't have to drink. Hallelujah. I only included this because I'm kind of notorious for liking really bad movies, and I didn't check the scores on these ahead of time, so I'm just curious to see which ones are scored badly and not liked by other people, because this is literally my top 20 list, guys. Like, if there's bad movies on here, this is my top 20 list. Next movie on my list for movies that I like aesthetically is The Ring. This 2002 American horror film stars Naomi Watts as an investigative journalist, Rachel Keller. The movie revolves around a cursed videotape that, when watched, triggers a series of supernatural events, culminating in the death of the viewer. 7 days later. 7 days. The Ring is notable for helping popularize the trend of American remakes of successful Asian horror films. The film's eerie and unsettling imagery, particularly the ghostly girl Samara emerging from a well and her crawling out of a TV screen, have become iconic in the horror genre. The concept of a cursed video that brings doom to anyone who watches it tapped into contemporary fears of technology, media, and viral content, making it especially relevant to its time. Also, why is the daddy so fine? This film made it on the list for movies that I like aesthetically. One, the green tint throughout the whole movie is so like 2002. I really enjoyed, there's one part in the film where she's looking out on the balcony and she can see into other people's apartment windows and she can see everyone that's like watching TV. And I think it was just very on the nose for how people were consuming media at the time. It was like just the beginning of the internet where I guess all you did was email people and like research things on Google. It just feels like a time capsule. And like there's not that much 2000s horror that like was that great or really stands on its own for anything. And I feel like The Ring truly is like a memorable storyline, as well as like, yes, it's on my list for movies that I like aesthetically. It's the imagery of Samara climbing out of the TV. Like, how can you not like want that in your music video? I think Samara just lives in my head rent free. No, that bitch pays rent in that dirty ass well. And the daddy lives in my head rent free. He can have the place. I'll move out. The daddy can have my place. How are we feeling? I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, still less overwhelmed from the gloves. The Ring has a 48 audience score. Oh my god, people don't like The Ring? This is what I mean. Oh my god, you guys. How can you be so fucking mean? Like, what do you not like about The Ring? You're just not young and sexy. That's just your problem. You're just not young and fine. I'll take my drink though. I'm blown that we got a below 50% score. So this is the second movie. It's like 2000s classic. It's like a time capsule of the 2000s. It's so unique. What other videotape horror have we seen? Are you kidding me? 7 days later? Y'all don't fucking like that? Do you guys want me to be closer to you? Check in. How are we feeling? I'm feeling okay. Not very tipsy or turvy, but very tangled. That's for sure. I feel like a hooker and a whore, but I'm happy to be here, bitch. Let me eat you, bitch. The movie taking the third spot. Actually, I don't think these are ranked. They're numbered. It's not ranked. Just remember that. So in our third spot for movies that I like aesthetically is Oldboy 2003. Oldboy is a South Korean neo-noir action thriller film directed by
Park Chan-wook,
based on a Japanese manga of the same name. I thought that was interesting too. I didn't know that Oldboy was based off of anything other than itself. I knew that The Shining was based off of Stephen King, because Stephen King is the motherfucking thank you. The film is the second installment in Pak's Vengeance trilogy. It tells the story of Oh Dae-woo, a man who is inexplicably imprisoned in a cell for 15 years and then released, seeking revenge against his captor while unraveling a complex and disturbing mystery. I don't want to give away too much on this one, so watch it blind, please. There are some of these movies that I just watch them blind with no information going in, and if I feel like that is relevant enough, then I want you guys to not spoil fucking anything, and I beg you, please. I'm gonna let you know which ones it is, but I beg you, for the love of God, do not look it up, do not spoil it, don't even listen to this. Like, hopefully I have like I'll probably put like spoiler. But there are some of these that I dead ass, I need you guys to just watch it with no information. Please, if you watch Oldboy, just watch it and then look up everything you need to search after, okay? I'm like a little disoriented. And like we're only on the third movie and there's 20 movies. Oldboy received critical acclaim and gained a significant following not only in South Korea but also internationally. It's played a crucial role in introducing Korean cinema to a global audience. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how I found Oldboy, but obviously after the first watch, it really sticks with you. It's like, whoa, fuck. I like it for the cinematography, some of the filming choices, and I guess the storyline too is really what makes it like stick to your memory. But I think I put this on my list for movies that I like aesthetically, for its kind of gritty, stylized. It's very proud of being Korean, and because that's not my world, I think it stands out visually in the way that it is also capturing the environment. And there's like a hallway fight scene that is like really iconic, and shot really well. So shout out to the director and the actors and the squid. Octopus. The film features a distinct visual style and is known for its creative use of cinematography, including unusual camera angles, framing, and vivid colors. So there you go. I would highly suggest watching Oldboy. It's like a psychological thriller, I guess you could say. It's more like it sticks with you when the movie's over. And it's even worth a rewatch when you finish it the first time. One of those. One of those. I'm gonna take a little break for a second just to get my act together. 94. All right. Oldboy got a 94. That's what I'm saying. Go watch it. I picked a good movie for my list. Okay, so the next film on my list is Bones and All, 2022. I figure this is not gonna have a good Rotten Tomatoes score because it's a newer film, so people don't like to give it a chance. Also, because it's a newer film, ChatGPT is only updated as recent as 2021. So Bones and All being from 2022, I had to type this up myself that I stole from Wikipedia. Bones and All is a 2022 coming-of-age horror film directed by Luca
Guadagnino.
So sorry. Following the story of a young woman named Marin, played by Taylor Russell, who I live for, who travels across the United States while struggling with a unique condition. She eats people. Sounds very relatable. The film blends elements of horror, romance, and a road trip narrative, which sets it apart from conventional horror movies. The film explores complex themes of identity, love, acceptance, using its horror elements to create a unique allegory for the challenges and fears associated with human connections. Yeah, and I think I liked Bones and All for the very like backwoodsy feel of it all, like the Midwest Americana of it all. I love seeing Taylor Russell and Timo Shallow, little Timmy, you know, running through the woods of America and doing hood rat shit. I also love the queerness of it. There's kind of like a gay sex scene in the movie with Timothy. Is it an A24 film? It kind of has that like indie, grungy, like, yeah, just Midwestern America appeal to it, with like a vampire sinisterness going on, and the story of like eating someone, bones and all, tying in the title of the film. I liked it, and the villain is actually really fucking creepy. He's actually really fucking creepy in Bones and All. I do not like that old guy, and I did not like seeing him and Taylor Russell on red carpets. After, I was like, girl, why are you hugging him? It's just a movie. It's just a movie, isn't it? So let's get the Rotten Tomatoes score, shall we? It's a 62. I'll take it. Did I say 60 or 50? I'm gonna take it. Should I drink? I'll drink. 62? Damn. So y'all didn't like Bones and All either? I'm only drinking it because this Jamaican me crazy. It's actually pretty tasty. I kind of like it. Yeah, I feel like it, the romance aspect of it too is like, yeah, I guess not that, I don't want to say not typical in horror, because horror definitely plays into people's fantasies in a weird way. There's always romance going on in horror, but this is like a truly like a romantic falling in love kind of movie with the background of like horror going on. So I think it stands apart for me. That's what I'm like interested in. That's what I like about each of the movies that I have on this list, is like they specifically stand out for their own reason to me, and they kind of like define a time, and they like set themselves apart in an interesting way. Yeah. Carrie, 1976. Carrie is a American horror film directed by Brian De Palma and based on Stephen King's first published novel of the same name, which I did not know. The film tells the story of a high school girl named Carrie White, played by Sissy Spacek, who possesses a telekinetic power and is relentlessly bullied by her classmates. When she is pushed to a breaking point, she unleashes her terrifying powers, leading to a tragic and horrifying climax at the school's prom. It was the first major film adaptation of a Stephen King novel and helped establish his reputation as a master of horror. I think I like it for its very 70s vibe throughout the whole movie. I love seeing the really dated gym clothing and the high school in general being very 1970s. And even the pranks that the kind of villains of the storyline get into, like the pig's blood, it feels like something a bully in 1970 whatever would legitimately do. It makes for such an iconic horror moment. Carrie with her crown and she's the prom queen, and then pig's blood fucking falls all over her, and then she lights that bitch up. And I remember when Carrie 2013 came out, me and my best friend went to go see it in the movies, and we walked out of that bitch like, how do we get telekinetic? Let's go to the fucking library and see if they have any books on telekinesis. Like, the 2013 Carrie like sent me into a wave of like trying to, you know me, you know I'm into the occult, bitch. Does that surprise you? No, it doesn't. A 77% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for Carrie. So the next movie on my list is Sleepaway Camp. And I'm gonna say off the bat, if you haven't watched Sleepaway Camp, if you don't know anything about Sleepaway Camp, don't look up anything about it and just watch it. Because I guess if there's anything I should warn you about before watching Sleepaway Camp, is that it is a B kind of horror. The practical effects are really practical effect-y, very like 1970s. Sleepaway Camp is notable for its cult status within the horror genre and its shocking twist ending. This 1983 low-budget slasher film directed by Robert Hiltzik gained a dedicated following for its campy, over-the-top slasher elements. The film fits into the 80s slasher subgenre alongside franchises like Friday the 13th and Halloween. It features a summer camp setting and a mysterious killer. It is often celebrated, guys. think I'm getting a little tipsy. It's often celebrated for its memorable twist ending, which remains a topic of discussion and debate among horror fans, inspiring discussions about gender identity and sexuality. Known for its creative kills and gore effects, campy charm. Just be in for the ride when it comes to 1983 horror practical effects. But yeah, I think Sleepaway Camp is on this list because Carrie is on this list, and I have a nostalgic interest in it. And I think the ending is, again, what makes it like stick to my mind. What sets it apart is how it ends, and it's really crazy and very queer. Come on, I'm here for the queer. What else do I want to say about Sleepaway Camp? I guess the real reason that this is on this list is I'm having this like palpitation. I'm having this yearning for a summer camp experience. I never got one. And I just like, I think summer camp and like s'mores and sitting around a fire and playing camp games and running around during the day, all that, bunk beds, all that, being in nature, all that. I'm just like, The visual concept of summer camp is like something that I can't get off of my mind, and I just really want to go to a summer camp really bad. There's like definitely adult ones, but I don't know what adult summer camp I would want to sign myself up for. There is a weed one. Would you guys come with me to the weed camp? So Sleepaway Camp and Bloody Pom Poms, which is free on YouTube, fulfill that like vintage summer camp. Okay, this video is taking really fucking long, for one. And I guess I just gotta keep going because I promised you 20. I promised you 20 and we're on like number 6. Oh girl. Oh girl. Oh girl. And my next film is The Craft, which is a 1996 American supernatural horror film directed by Andrew Fleming. The movie follows the story of 4 high school girls who form a coven of witches to harness magic powers, but their newfound abilities come with unexpected and dark consequences. Considered a cult classic in the teen and supernatural horror genre, it resonates with audiences who appreciate its exploration of female empowerment, identity, and the consequences of using power irresponsibly. And I forgot to look up the Rotten Tomatoes score for Sleepaway Camp. Fuck. I'm struggling a little bit. 60%. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not surprised that y'all don't like Sleepaway Camp because it's a low budget 1980s slasher horror. I'll take a drink because that's still a pretty low score. That's like failing. That's failing. The Wagon Wheel Watusi. How long am I gonna be here? Ooh. Okay, considered a cult classic in the teen and supernatural horror genre, it resonates with audiences who appreciate its exploration of female empowerment, identity, and the consequences of using power irresponsibly. Female friendship and empowerment, as well as a representation of marginalized subcultures within the mainstream. The film has also contributed to an interest in witchcraft and paganism among some viewers. It has become a symbol of the 90s and a time of when teen-focused horror was at its peak, memorable for its soundtrack that captures the mood and atmosphere of 90s alternative and gothic subcultures. Yeah, I watched The Craft as a teen girl and immediately got attached to it. What else can I say? It's very relatable for teen girls that are going through it. And if you can't fucking tell, The Craft, it's escapism. I like Janice, the dark-haired character. I don't like the main character that we're following. I actually like the villain character. So that's me. It's really just about teenage girls being witches. It's not like anything scary. Actually, I think there is like some fucked up parts in it. Not gonna lie, there is some creepy. A 65? That's still failing, you guys. I'm struggling to get through this. The next film that I like aesthetically is X, 2022. It's an American slasher film written, directed, produced, and edited by T. West, bitch. Starring Mia Goth in dual roles as a young woman named Maxine and an elderly woman named Pearl. Dee-dee-dee-ba-da-doo. The film's primary theme revolves around aging, youth, and longing after the past. Goth donned extensive prosthetic makeup to portray the elderly Pearl, describing her experience. Sorry, my teeth are really getting in the way of being able to talk normally. And I'm not taking them off because I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. It was a good 10 hours in the makeup chair, and then I'd go do a 12-hour day on set. So maybe I should stop complaining about having to sit here to make my own YouTube video. Okay, anyways, it's a 2022 film. That's why ChatGPT couldn't help me on that one. I liked X for its sluttiness, first and foremost, most of all. It's got that like backcountry camping, fucked up white people hillbilly shit, similar to Bones and All, that backwoods fucked up hillbilly shit. I like that in my horror. Maybe camp and like backwoods is like my kind of horror, because I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. Oop, that's not on the list. That's not on the record. I did not know Mia Goth was that old lady. That's the first time an actor has been in like full prosthetic, and I didn't know. I really didn't know who that old lady was until I like realized later on. So shouts outs to you, girl. Fucking hell, I'm not doing well. The score is 75. Let's do another check-in. How are we feeling? I'm feeling a little lost, a little out of control. I don't know what's going on anymore. And I just want you guys to be able to see my shoes, and only I can. The next movie that I like, for movies that I like aesthetically, is the movie Queen of the Damned by Aaliyah. Not by Aaliyah. Queen of the Damned is a 2002 American horror film directed by Michael Ryder, based on Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles series, which I didn't know. This was a movie based on a book series, specifically the third book, The Queen of the Damned, the second book, The Last Vampire. The film explores the life and origin of the charismatic vampire and the awakening of the ancient vampire queen, Akasha. Noted for its blending of gothic elements, rock music, and a modern take on vampire mythology, making it a distinctive addition to the vampire genre. Aaliyah's portrayal of the ancient vampire queen Akasha was one of her last film roles before her tragic death in 2001. Her performance received praise for its seductive and otherworldly quality. The movie aimed to delve into themes of immortality, power, and the consequences of eternal life. There are none. As a unique, stylish contribution to the vampire film genre. Obviously, I like Queen of the Damned for Aaliyah playing Akasha, and I just feel so blessed because I'm like an R&B girly just as much as I'm like into the darker things, the scary parts of life, the darker sides of life. I'm into it, and I love that Aaliyah had that side to her as well. So I'm just like forever appreciative that I got to have this kind of movie from her before her passing. The rock star vampire Lestat. Yeah, I think the movie just stands out to me for its like club culture depictions, and then just Aaliyah as Queen Akasha. Live it, love it, breathe it. I'm feeling it, you guys. I'm really feeling different right now. Okay, well, it's a 66. More drinking. Happy Halloween, y'all. Happy 2023 Halloween. I'm almost done with my cup. Guys, like, I don't drink ever. Like, ever. And we're finishing the list strong with Donnie fucking Darko, bitch. So, Donnie Darko, you say? Honestly, I'm so excited to talk about this because I love this movie. Donnie Darko is a 2001 American science fiction psychological thriller written and directed by Richard Kelly following the story of Donnie Darko, a troubled teenager portrayed by Jake Gyllenhaal, who is visited by a strange, life-sized rabbit named Frank, and begins experiencing a series of bizarre and surreal events involving time travel and alternate dimensions. Known for its enigmatic and mind-bending narrative, which has led to a dedicated cult following, gained recognition for its examination of mental illness, existentialism, and the impact of personal choices on one's life. The movie uses the use of a haunting and atmospheric soundtrack, which includes tracks like Mad World, which, yeah, deadass, added to its distinctive mood and has since become iconic. And then Blase Blase, like, it didn't have a good release. The film's story explores... My hand is hurting. The film's story explores the concept of a tangent universe, a parallel reality where time travel plays a crucial role. Donnie is tasked with correcting the flaws in his reality to prevent its collapse. Yeah. And then the character Frank, the giant rabbit, his appearances is both menacing and mysterious, adding to the film's eerie atmosphere. Yeah, Donnie Darko is just one of those films that you hear about and like everybody likes it. So I have that gene of like, well, whatever. Donnie Darko is like really fucked up and crazy. If you've lived a life like me, you've experienced hallucinations before. It's just the aspects of the film where like he's really questioning his reality, but there are things that are confirming his biggest nightmare, essentially, which is that this is all real. And I don't know, I think that's what bugs me about it. Like he's like tripping in this fucking movie. Like he is seeing shit, he's talking to a life-size rabbit, but the way that comes back around at the end, it's a freaky fucking movie for me. Donnie Darko, like it fucks with my brain, and I think it's because I've specifically experienced like a hallucinative state. I'm okay, guys. I'm okay, babies. It's okay. You don't have to worry. Everything around you is making sense and aligning, but in reality, it's crazy. It's crazy, baby. Hey, baby, it's crazy. Happy birthday to you, Halloween. I'm a vampire girl. Donnie Darko has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. You and me are like this right now. I think it has like a color grade over the film. There's like a color to the film. There's like a saturation. There's something in the shadows and in the tinting. And I think Frank, the rabbit, is like a standout character to me in Donnie Darko, so that's why it also like boosts itself on my liking it for aesthetic reasons. We're moving into the second part of this video, which is movies that I like for the plot line. Let's go. Cheers if you've made it this far. Am I doing a good job? Okay, let's get into part 2. Evil Dead 2013. Some of y'all gonna be mad at me for this one. A remake of the 1981 cult classic. This 2013 American supernatural horror flick, directed by Fede Alvarez, reimagines the story while retaining the core elements of demonic possession and gore. Give them the wagon wheel Watusi. A new generation, the film aimed to provide a more serious and visceral horror experience, served as an example of how to pay homage to an original beloved whatever. The film's level of violence and gore was considered extreme even by horror standards, which contributed to its reputation as shockingly gruesome, which is the reason that I fucking love the 2013 Evil Dead. The possession in this film is a nasty one. I've seen the original, so don't get on my fucking ass about like, you can't put it on the list if you haven't seen the original. I've seen the fucking original and I don't like it because it has dated 1970s special effects. And to me, the 2013 replacement film has the same fucking storyline. The gore gets gory. And I love the, what is it? Fuck. What is it called? The Abomination. I enjoy the like Mia is on drugs storyline. I feel like it's a good reason for the people in the cabin to like not want to leave when she wants to leave, and like kind of her mania being like dismissed. It makes a lot of sense. Your sister's getting fucked in hell. Oh, creepy, truly creepy. 64%. No, so what did you not like about it? Mia's character is surviving to the end, even though she's the drug addict sister. Everyone dying in a different, ghoulish, gorish way. Brotherly love. I'm sorry. What did you not like about this film? No, because what did you not like about Evil Dead 2013? Like, the blood rain at the end? That's a failing grade. I don't take failing. Anyway, how many movies at this point? Well, that was the kicker of my films that I like for the plot line. I would watch it a million fucking times. I'm obsessed with this movie. And it is a 64%. I wish I could just sit here and do the video like this. Why are you guys not not like boosting these? Like, what am I doing wrong? So the second movie that I like for the plotline is The Omen. 2006. This 2006 remake of the 1976 classic of the same name, directed by John Moore, centers around the eerie and malevolent presence of a young boy, Damien, which is such a good name for a demonic little boy, Damien, who is believed to be the Antichrist. Deals with themes of demonic possession, religious symbolism, and the concept of evil incarnate. The plot closely mirrors the original film, which you would be perfectly sound in preferring over the 2006 one. But I was born in 2006, so that's why I like it. With the parents gradually coming to realize that their adopted son may be the Antichrist. Foretelling the apocalypse. Like the original, the film makes use of religious and supernatural imagery, including biblical references, to create a sense of dread and foreboding. The movie's release date was June 6, 2006, which is 060606. Was deliberately chosen to coincide with the film's apocalyptic themes. The Omen 2006 aimed to incorporate modern special effects and technology to enhance its horror elements, including scenes of violent supernatural occurrences. This version received mixed reviews from critics. I guess we see where my fate is heading. I think I just like The Omen 2006 because it's the one I saw. I think I've seen the original too, but again, like, the whole appeal of horror is like its believability at some point, and it's like, I don't know, to me at some point, like, the 2006 version is just gonna have better horror effects than the 1976 version. And it's when the nanny jumps off the fucking roof that I am like, oh, fuck. Oh my god. It has a 40% audience score and a 26% tomato meter. This might be the worst movie on my list. Is it? What was Queen of the Damned? It's giving main character energy. I think I can make it to the end of the video, but I don't know what I'm gonna do after. I don't know where this is gonna go. Shout out to Damien. I'll Be Your Nanny. Let Me In 2010 with Chloe Grace Moretz is a 2010 American British romantic horror film directed by Matt Reeves, a remake of the Swedish film Let the Right One In, which is based on the novel of the same name by John Ajvide Lindqvist. The story revolves around the friendship between a lonely and bullied young boy and a vampire girl. Highlighting their complex and evolving relationship, Let Me In received critical acclaim for its adaptation of the Swedish original and its ability to preserve the emotional depth of the story while adding its own unique elements, which I don't know what they mean by that. The film is known for blending horror and romance genres, creating a melancholic and atmospheric tale of friendship and love amid supernatural circumstances. The central theme of isolation and desire, why am I smiling? For connection contributes to the film's appeal. The film receives praise for its evocative cinematography and its ability to create a stark and wintry atmosphere, which enhances the sense of isolation. Guys, Let Me In maintained. I've kept the teeth in this whole video. I'm just letting you know. The film managed to balance the supernatural and horror elements with genuine emotional core, earning praise for its character-driven storytelling, an example of a successful adaptation of a foreign language film. Okay. But yeah, this movie is very sweet, surprisingly, for a horror thriller, maybe. I like what is horrific about it. I love the part of the film that is thrilling. It is kind of a coming of age, like more of a romance film, so that's what makes it very sweet. And yes, the main character, the young boy in the film, is bullied and an outcast, and I think that they cast him really well. I think that kid that plays the main kid in the movie is cast really well. Like, he makes me want to cry. I don't know, I sympathize with him so much. And then I love seeing a young Chloe Grace Moretz in this movie as well. She's so talented and so adorable. A 76 period. So yeah, it's a really beautiful film, and they're very right about the wintry atmosphere, adding to the feeling of isolation and being an outcast. The next film on my list of movies that I like for the plot line is The Exorcist, a 1973 American supernatural horror film directed by William Friedkin, based on William Peter somethings of the same name of the novel. The movie tells the story of a young girl named Reagan, which is another good name, played by Linda, who becomes possessed by a malevolent demonic entity. Again, I had ChatGPT type these up, so the amount of times that it chooses malevolent is ridiculous. Whatever, you know the plot line of The Exorcist. And it's on this list because I like the depiction of possession, especially through the lens of a 1970s horror film, and they make a little girl cuss, which is crazy and probably really fucked up. But she killed it. And it's the first of its kind and it's iconic, and I think it stands the test of time. I think that's what comes down to like horror movies being classics and cult classics, is they really fucking stand the test of time. And I feel like The Exorcist is a fucked up movie anytime you watch it, any year you see it. It's a fucked up film. To see this little girl cussing and like pissing on herself and like walking down the stairs. They're so stupid for that. And it has an 87. Are we surprised? No, because it's that good of a film, okay? You don't need me to sit on this couch and tell you that. You fucking bitch. The next movie on my list is Audition. If you know it, kudos to you, girl. You could go into it blind. Yeah, I would totally support watching Audition blind. If you want to skip this little description and just go watch it, I think it's on YouTube. Most of the films that I tried to like rewatch a lot of these in preparation. Anyways, I recently rewatched Audition and I love it. Anyway, Audition is a 1999 Japanese horror film directed by Takashi Miike, based on a novel of the same name by Ryu Murakami. It is known for its slow, unsettling build-up and shocking, gruesome climax, celebrated as one of the most disturbing and influential entries in the Japanese horror genre, contributing to the global recognition of J-horror in the 1990s and 2000s. The film's exploration of psychological and physical torment. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to keep reading? Yeah, I'm trying to get through it. The film's exploration of psychological and physical torment of its characters and the use of torture elements led to debates about the boundaries of horror and the nature of fear. I don't know what that means. Often cited as a prime example of slow burn horror, where tension builds slowly, resulting in a shocking and memorable climax, which I would concur. The film follows Aoyama, a widower who stages a fake movie audition to find a new love interest. He becomes enamored with Asami, a young woman who seems to be the perfect candidate. However, as the story unfolds, Aoyama discovers disturbing secrets about Asami. Takashi Miike is known for his audacious and often provocative filmmaking style. Audition, one of his most well-known works, and is often cited as one of his best films. The slow and deliberate pacing adds to the film's unsettling atmosphere and the growing sense of dread as the story progresses. And if you don't want any spoilers, then skip this part right here. And if you don't give a fuck, because what the fuck even, yes, the Audition is that bitch. It is cunty as fuck. I live for her torturing this old creepy man. It's a foreign language film, so there's already a level of like intensity coming into it. Like there's a level of suspension already going into the film because you're going to be reading subtitles the whole time. So maybe that adds to the slow pacing that's already in the film. It has a 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's fine. Yeah, it's kind of a creepy movie. There's surprising parts. It's an interesting watch, I'll say that. I'm not in the right state of mind to like really give it its flowers, but 80%, you get it. Fuck. Yeah. I guess I struggle with being happy with where I am and what I'm doing. I question myself a lot. Anyway, back to the... What I really can't wait for is Sam and Colby's final video of the Conjuring series. If you're watching the Conjuring series with Sam and Colby, girl. Anyway, Magic is definitely going to make me have to drink. I went into this movie not knowing what the fuck it was gonna be. I felt pleasantly surprised. I've heard different reactions from other people that I've made watch this movie. I would advise you to just go watch it. Don't Google a thing. Don't look up anything. Michael Cera in like a creepy role. Michael Cera as like not goofy Michael Cera. So Magic is on this list because I like the hypnotic storyline. There's like an element of hypnosis, an element of this bitch is just losing her mind. Let me read the synopsis, whatever the fuck. Magic is a 2013 psychological thriller directed by Sebastian Silva, imploring themes of psychological distress, isolation, and the unraveling of the human mind in a foreign and unfamiliar environment. It emphasizes the unease and disorientation experienced by the central character, which can be unsettling for viewers. The film reflects the subgenre of psychological horror, which delves into the fragility of the human psyche, and the ambiguity of reality and delusion. Although Magic may not be as widely recognized as some other horror films, it has earned a following among those who appreciate psychological horror. Unconventional storytelling. The film follows Alicia, a young woman who joins her cousin Sarah on a trip to Chile. As the group heads into the remote countryside, Alicia's mental state becomes increasingly unstable, and her anxiety and paranoia intensifies. Notable for its immersive and disorienting atmosphere, which mirrors Alicia's deteriorating mental state. The film is characterized by its ambiguity and lack of clear explanations, allowing viewers to interpret the events and characters in various ways, not relying on traditional jump scares or supernatural elements, but instead creates tension through the uncertainty of characters' motives and the deterioration of Alicia's mental state. And that's what I love about Magic. It is twisted and different and from a female perspective, and I love Juno Temple and I love Emily Jane Browning, and I love the setting in the Chile countryside, everyone speaking Spanish, like, sí, yo hablo español un poco, yo necesito practicar mucho más, pero me gusta español mucho. Quiero hablar con tú. Fuck me, dude. It's like a little indie, I think. I think it's not widely known. It has a 31% audience score and a 68 tomato meter. Listen, this is the consensus that I get from everyone that I show this movie to, that they don't fucking like it. But I like it, and maybe it's just the quirky white side of me that loves this movie. Maybe it's just the Emily Jane Browning lesbian side of me that loves this movie. But I like Magic and fuck y'all. I get it. I know that I have this taste. I know that I like weird shit that other people don't fucking like, and I can't even explain why I like it. And Magic is just one of those movies. We'll do a double. These are my favorite flowers. I have them tattooed on my arm right there. These are my favorite flowers. I got this pumpkin at the Dollar Tree, and it has a sparkly spider on it. So happy Halloween. Today is Halloween. Happy Halloween. I feel beautiful and wonderful and fantastic. This candle that's been lit for 3 hours now, it says Sagittarius. It says Sagittarius because I'm a Sagittarius. Thank you. Beautiful. Love you. I thought this mug was funny to use only in reference to making videos about movies and main characters. But now I just have a mug that says main character energy. And okay, I'll tell you about more movies, I promise. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna bum rush the next movies. It Follows. It's 2014 American supernatural horror. I'm like losing it. I'm losing motivation right now. So the next movie is It Follows. I'm done reading the bullshit. I like It Follows because I think it just surprised me again. What I like about the horror movies that stick out to me that I like is them being different from, like, there's something about them that sets it apart from other like horrors that's coming out at the same time. I don't know, horror can be very repetitive, so it's like when you can truly bring something new to the table that is like haunting in a different way or like sticks to you in a different way, that excites me. And It Follows felt like that for me. I felt like it was a new concept of something that just is like always walking towards you. And yeah, it touches on like concepts of just being an adolescent and like growing into your sexuality and having sexual experiences for the first time. I also like the styling in the film. I think the era or like the time in which we are following this group of rambunctious young white people, it's ambiguous because the technology in the film is ambiguous. I think the horror is really scary. It is really creepy, specifically when that big giant man like walks through the door frame. Like just thinking about it like makes my heart skip a beat. So I think It Follows is shot very beautifully, and I like the storytelling, coming of age kind of things, along with like a horror element, I guess. Not me typing Rotten Tomatoes. That's what I was typing. Is a 66, which is still failing. Okay, so people don't like It Follows. It has a 95 on the tomato meter. So what's going on, audience? What does it take to satisfy you? I feel like the newer the movie, like the less credit people want to give it. I don't know. I feel like people give a lot of credit to old horror, like classic horror, and everything is always upheld to like those old kinds of movies. But I think like there's plenty of new films that are doing new exciting things that I fuck with a lot. And then the next movie on that on this list is the movie Men from 2022. It is a British folklore horror film written and directed by Alex Garland, starring Jessie Buckley as a widowed woman who travels on a holiday to the countryside village and becomes disturbed and tormented by the strange men in the village. At times it feels like she's trapped in a maze. Yeah, this is a new movie. I think it doesn't have good reviews. There is a scene in the film that the lead woman is arguing with, yeah, it has a 40%. Okay, so let me just take another drink. Let me just finish. I think we have 2 more movies. I liked Men. The scenes with her ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance, whoever he was, genuinely got to me. I related to the arguments that she was having with her man, and then the creepy things going on in the village like genuinely creeped me out. And the final kind of birthing creature, spoiler, the final creature being born and it being her ex-boyfriend and him sustaining the same injuries that we've seen the creature sustaining throughout this whole like nightmare sequence was like, oh, I don't know, maybe y'all caught on to it way before I did, but once her ex like walked through the door, I was like, oh fuck, like, oh fuck, they went there with that shit. So to me it was a satisfying ending. The house and the apple tree and the guy, I felt like this movie really was cool. I liked it for like a new horror, especially like representing the new school, whatever the fuck. I say watch it, and I say fuck this score. Insidious, 2010, which blew me away. I didn't remember that this movie came out in 2010. But I remember it shook my fucking world. And I think Insidious's depiction of the further, like the other side, the afterlife, whatever, it felt like so dead on to me. It felt like really like, no, that is what it's like on that other side. And if you've been watching the Sam and Colby Conjuring videos this week, bitch, like Insidious really feels like that is what that place is like. Maybe not as scary, but Insidious was fucking scary, and it was different. Celebrated for its ability to breathe new life into the haunted house subgenre. Recognized for its inventive use of suspense and jump scares and haunting atmospheric score. The song, I remember kids in my fucking high school would play that song in the hallways. Yeah, it was creepy. It really made like ghosts like really like a scary thing to think about. And I even like Insidious 2. I like the depiction of the big bad demon. Oh my fucking god. It has a 62%. It has a 62. I just feel like it's deserving of better than a 62. Okay, well that's mug number 2. I mean, what? Do y'all like The Conjuring? If you like The Conjuring, to me, you have to like Insidious. What's The fucking Conjuring? The Conjuring has an 83. That is ridiculous to me. I'm sorry, no, bitch. If you like The Conjuring, you have to like Insidious. Am I crazy? It came out 3 years later. You, dude, no. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. This video is crazy. I don't know where it left off. I think it cut off the last like 10 minutes. So I think the last movies was It Follows, and the last movie is Candyman. Fuck, what else do I want to say? Oh, I had like a whole sweet thing that I wanted to say about Candyman. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm saying everything that the audio recorded, so there's not gonna be any matching video to what I just said, but there is going to be audio, so I'm just going to pretend like I'm saying everything I just talked about, and then I'm going to wrap up this fucking video. We have reached the conclusion to this video. The final movie, the 20th movie. I don't even know how many drinks I took. The last movie on my fucking list, and I hope I didn't skip over any fucking thing. 1992, Candyman. Let me read my thing. Candyman is a American supernatural horror film directed by Bernard Rose, based on a short story by Clive Barker, which I did not know. The movie has become a cult classic in the horror genre, exploring themes of urban legends, race, and the power of storytelling. Known for its explorations of urban legends and the role of folklore and storytelling in perpetuating fear and superstition, the film is celebrated for its portrayal of race and racism, as it is set in a poverty-stricken urban environment and features a black antagonist who is both terrifying and sympathetic. Has contributed to discussions about representation of race and urban life in horror cinema, and it remains a standout in the genre for its thought-provoking themes. The film's story centers on Helen Lyle, played by Virginia Madsen, a graduate student researching urban legends in Chicago's housing project. Her investigation into the legend of Candyman leads her to a series of gruesome and supernatural events. Sorry, stick with me. The Candyman character, portrayed by Tony Todd, baby, has become one of the iconic figures in the horror cinema. His presence is both menacing and tragic, making him a complex and unforgettable antagonist. The film explores the idea that Candyman is a manifestation of the collective fears and prejudice of the urban environment, as well as a symbol of historical trauma and racial injustice. Notable for its use of mirrors as a thematic and visual motif, contributing to the film's unsettling and dreamlike atmosphere. Candyman fucked me up, actually. The reason I watched Candyman, the 1992 version, is because the new version came out not that long ago. I think 2021 or 2022. I remember watching it last Christmas. I went to Colorado. I stayed in a yurt, okay? Not a cabin, a yurt, because I'm that girl. We got a double DVD of the new Candyman and the old Candyman, and we watched the old Candyman. I was high off my fucking rocker. We're watching the 92 Candyman, and there's either something about Helen, I think it's the fact that she's like a graduate student that I relate to, like I see myself in her, and her having a black best friend, shit like that, like it being a black horror, representing black people in horror, and even more specifically like black horror, the horrors of being black. I was like, damn, they wrote this in 1992, which makes sense because I feel like that was like a real renaissance going on at that time. I just like really wanted Helen to make it out unscathed, or like I wanted her to be able to come back from the horrors that were happening around her. And I think the more deteriorated the state of her mind and the state of her world was collapsing, like the more I was collapsing with her, if that makes sense. I don't know, it was just I like so desperately wanted her to find a way to make it out of this curse, this haunting, like whatever it is. Like I wanted her to wake up and realize like it's not real, like it's not really happening. But then like things just get worse and worse and worse. Don't spoil this movie. Maybe I've already spoiled it enough, or maybe I haven't spoiled it at all. But if you know nothing of the original Candyman, then yes, please go watch it, and don't look up anything about it, just go watch it. But if you don't give a fuck, then yeah, keep listening, girl. Specifically the scene where Helen wakes up. She doesn't know what's happened. She's in somebody's apartment. She's covered in blood. I think she has a knife. And then we see like, we just see like a gruesome scene. And I think I was like, whoa, fuck, like this is bad. This is really bad. And she doesn't know what happened. You know, like I'm just like praying that she makes it out of this and that it's not actually her fault. And then yeah, I agree with the sentiment that Candyman is a very sympathetic, very sad, evil, malevolent spirit. But yeah, there's like a sadness to Candyman. And it ends on a posy note, I guess. But yeah, the 92 Candyman was a lot creepier than I thought it was going to be, a lot nastier than I thought it was going to be, a lot different than I thought it was going to be. And I like the follow-up rendition of it as well. I think it wraps up the story really nicely. Okay, so my final thoughts on this Halloween. I don't know. I feel good about myself. Happy to share my favorite scary movies with you all. I hope you had fun. I hope this didn't suck. I hope it wasn't boring. I hope you like my makeup. I tried really hard to be a different person than I usually am. Main character energy. Thank you for sticking with me, and please let me know if you watch this video and if you watch any of the movies that I suggested, specifically Magic, and if you're watching Sam and Colby's Conjuring series 2023, because this shit is blowing my fucking mind. And I'm gonna watch Candyman tonight, and I might even watch Insidious tonight. That's how I'm feeling. Well, thank you for joining me on my comfy corner with my son Pepito and my pumpkin. I will be back. I will be more put together for sure. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a happy Halloween. Goodbye.